When Jungkook, a global star, chose to fulfill his military obligations in South Korea, many fans supported this decision. Not a few were apprehensive of the new world he was about to enter, a military world full of strict discipline, uncompromising hierarchies, and an atmosphere that sometimes hid dark stories behind its walls. However, who would have thought that Jungkook, in his short time at the training camp, would discover something unexpected, a hidden social dynamic that is an open secret among young soldiers. When interviewed anonymously after completing basic training, Jungkook revealed a side rarely discussed by society: the relationship between fellow soldiers that is not only professional but also full of deeper feelings. In her story, she not only shares about her struggle to adapt in a new environment, but also how she witnessed firsthand how love and intimacy can grow in the most unexpected places. Jungkook's first day at training camp was a challenging one. As an idol accustomed to the comforts of the entertainment world, the transition to military life felt like a huge leap into a different world. Getting up early in the morning, non-stop physical exercise, until a strong reprimand from the senior made him feel disoriented. However, as she often does in her life, she is determined to live it all with passion. There were moments where I felt completely alone, Jungkook said in the interview. I started to wonder, can I really get through this? But then I realized everyone here is going through the same thing. However, amid the loneliness and pressure that surrounds, Jungkook begins to see another side of life in the training camp. This side is not just about solidarity or friendship, but also about how the soldiers support each other in a more profound way. In the third week, Jungkook began to notice something different. He witnessed some interactions that at first seemed casual, but then felt more intimate than the usual relationship between fellow soldiers. I see two of my colleagues who are always together. They seem very close, more than just friends, he said. At first, I thought it was just friendship. But over time, I began to realize that there was something deeper between them. Jungkook doesn't want to judge or interfere in other people's personal affairs. As an individual who has long been in the public spotlight, she understands how important it is to maintain privacy. However, his curiosity led him to try to understand more about this dynamic. In conversations with several other soldiers, he began to hear more personal stories. Some admitted that they found love in a military camp. Others told about the pressure they faced from having to hide their sexual orientation. One of them said to me, "Here, we don't have many options. The world outside is too hard to accept us. But here, at least we have each other." Jungkook said, "Military life is known for its strict rules and tremendous pressure. In the midst of all that, however, there are small moments in which the soldiers can feel happiness." Jungkook witnessed how several soldiers supported each other emotionally and even romantically, although they had to do it secretly. It's not just about physical love, Jungkook explained. A lot of them really care about each other. They find emotional support in the midst of a difficult situation. However, not all stories have a happy ending. Jungkook also heard stories of discrimination and harassment against those known to have a different sexual orientation. There was a soldier I knew. He is very kind and talented, but he is often the target of jokes and ridicule simply because people suspect his sexual orientation, she said in a serious tone. Life in the military camp became a place where soldiers had to constantly maintain vigilance, not only against external threats but also against their own comrades. Jungkook recounted that many soldiers lived in fear of being known or judged. However, on the other hand, he also saw how love can give incredible strength. There are soldiers who, despite facing stigma and discrimination, still struggle to support and protect each other. When I saw them, I felt there was hope, Jungkook said. They show that even though the world can be very harsh, love can still survive. After completing his training, Jungkook brought home more than just military experience. It brings inspiring and moving stories, as well as a new understanding of human diversity. I learned that no place in the world is completely black or white. Even in a place full of rules and hierarchies like the military, there is a very strong human side, he said. When asked if he would speak openly about his experience, Jungkook said that he wanted to use his platform to spread the message of acceptance and love. We often forget that everyone has their own story, she says. And sometimes, the most unexpected places can be the places where we find the courage to be ourselves. Jungkook's story of the dark and light sides of military camp is a reminder that no matter where we are, people are people. They seek love, understanding, and acceptance, even in places that seem impossible to in an ever-evolving world. It may be time we began to look inward and accept diversity in all its forms. Because in the end, as Jungkook said, love is something we can't refuse, even when we try to do it. In military life, the concept of brotherhood is often at the center of everything. Soldiers are taught to see each other as comrades to be protected, respected, and supported. However, when these relationships transcend professional or friendly boundaries, they can spark debate among soldiers as well as in wider society. The military in many countries, including South Korea, has a strong culture of masculinity. In this tradition, any form of tenderness or deep emotional dependence is often viewed as weakness. Moreover, romantic relationships between members of the same sex are often considered contrary to the conservative values espoused by most military institutions. However, Jungkook reveals that love and human emotions cannot be constrained by social rules or norms. Those who find relationships in camp are not because they want to defy the rules, he said. It happens because in a place like this, where we live together almost 24 hours a day, we understand each other better than outsiders. He also tells that in a stressful environment, emotional relationships become a kind of escape. Many soldiers who feel lonely and depressed find peace in the presence of someone who truly cares. One soldier once said to me, "When he's around me, I feel safe." For a moment, I was able to forget all my fears. Jungkook said, recalling the moment that imprinted on his mind. In a military environment full of surveillance, living a same-sex relationship becomes a great challenge. Jungkook told how the soldiers had to be very careful to keep their secrets. "I see them communicating through small codes," he said. "Sometimes, just with a look in the eye or a very subtle gesture,